Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Teacher Portfolio Workshop. Today, we are going to be talking about how you can start building your portfolio, or if you already have one started, different tools that you can use to really enhance your portfolio as you move along in your program and you're moving along in your teaching and education careers. So just a couple housekeeping things. This workshop is being recorded. Anybody who registered today is going to get a copy of the recording, the slides, and all of the materials that you see today and the templates and resources. They're all going to be linked within the slideshow. So you'll be able to open it up from the email and click on any of the buttons and links. If this is your first time interacting with Career and Alumni Services, welcome. My name is Logann Todd. I am the Career and Alumni Services Manager for United States University. I can help you with anything you see on the screen here, including job searching, resume, cover letter writing for education positions, interviewing support. We can even do practice interviews as well. But of course, today we're going to be chatting all about portfolio building. I do offer one-on-one appointments, and so you can click this link here in the slides, or you can click it in the follow-up email in my signature. You can schedule a time that works for you. And today we're really just going to be talking about professional portfolios. Why are they important? What should be included? I'm going to actually show you some different sites and resources and actually demo them, and then go through some tips for success and Q&A at the end. So what is a professional teaching portfolio? I'm sure at this point you've heard of it before, but really it's more than just a resume. It is really a huge compiled document of all of your personal, academic, and professional achievements and accomplishments wrapped up in a beautiful bundle for a recruiter or the hiring manager. Your portfolio is also serving as an ongoing document. It is not something you make one time and you never touch it again. These are things that you're adding to throughout your career, putting different samples in there, scholarships, awards that you might receive, different types of accomplishments being put into this. You can also put in new lesson plan ideas or new projects that you might have worked on. So it really is something that is adapting over time, changing. You are putting information in this and it's growing over time. Portfolios are really important for you as you move into the job search phase, or you're looking for a new job, or you're starting your student teaching experience, because this is a great space to put everything important. Like I said, it's not just your resume. Employers are asking for a teacher portfolio as well. So you might see this in an online application where they might ask you to upload it or provide a link. In an interview, they might say, hey, do you have any work samples we can look at, right? Or lesson plans that you have designed. That is your time to showcase that. It's also providing a little bit more than what's on your resume. For your resume or your CV, you only have a certain amount of space, right? We only have like 1 to 2 pages to really showcase our experience as a teacher candidate or in education, where your portfolio has a lot more of that, like your credentials, licenses, different projects, right? Relevant experience. You can really put that into your portfolio. And because we're limited on space in our resume, it's a great space to put it. So what should we be including? Pretty much anything outside of what would be on our traditional resume. So we have our biographical information, right? Then we might have a teacher philosophy, right? Or statement of intent. Why do we want to be a teacher? Why do we want to be in education? Then we have our important documents. So copies of our resume, copies of our teaching certification, college transcripts, maybe a summary of your teaching credential program or your Master's of Education. Then maybe you have a summary of your student teaching experience. You have your teaching methodologies and strategies, your own personal goals and plans for the future. What do you want to do with your career? Get into all of the personalized items. So like your letters of appreciation, recommendations, references, performance evaluations, really speaking and attesting to you as an educator. And these are valid from actual people outside of work, outside of personal life. So these would be folks at work or colleagues or supervisors, faculty, mentors, any of those individuals, but not from a peer-to-peer standpoint. Then you have your academic work. So your projects, your lesson plans, your volunteer experience, your involvement outside of school. That's where it's really up to you and what you decide to put in there. And every single portfolio is going to be different in how you structure it and organize it. But I just wanted to give you some ideas of what you could include here. Now, these are my recommendations for where to create a portfolio. Most of you are probably pretty tech savvy at this point, and familiar with Microsoft Word or Google Docs at a minimum. But I do want to show you a couple other more advanced options using Google Sites and Canva. So with Microsoft Word and Google Docs, this is the easiest of the options. So you can see from this video here, I actually created a template for you that you can click this button in the slides and it will take you directly there. Very simple. It's just allowing you to put text in here, or you can copy and paste images. But this is already kind of worked out for you and just has all of those placeholders there. Google Docs and Microsoft Word are great because they're simple. All you're doing is adding text or images, and that's pretty much it. You can also embed links if you want to, so highlighting a word or a phrase, right-clicking and adding a hyperlink. So again, Google Docs, Microsoft Word are really great for folks who might not be very tech savvy, who just want something more simple, in an easier outline to follow. Again, make sure you put your information in here, right? This is a template, but I want you to personalize it to yourself. So you can include sections that aren't included on this template. This is up to you. You can change the colors, fonts, make it unique to you, your personality, and your education style. Now, the second option is a little bit more complicated, but I promise it's not super complicated, is Google Sites. And this is where you're actually creating a free website. A lot of educators, when they go in, they actually use Google Sites to create personal websites for their students. So this is a great tool to add to your toolkit, but also great for you to build your portfolio on, get familiar with the process and how to use the tool. Unfortunately, I can't share a template, but I do have a sample that you see in this video here. You will be able to try your best to mock it up as close as possible, but unfortunately, there's no way for me to share it as a template. But just wanted to give you an idea of what you could possibly make it look like, or give you some examples of how you could link things. The cool thing about Google Sites is it is an actual website, and so you do have the ability to customize that URL, share this, embed it within your resume even, or put it on LinkedIn. Easy to share with an employer if you needed to. So just another quick look at what Google Sites looks like here. So this is my sample I made. You have all of these drag and drop options. So meaning you can click on these, drag them in here and let go, and then you can edit and resize these. And I'll show you in just a bit how to do this. The cool thing is that there's already these pre-made content blocks. So if you know you want to add pictures, I would recommend using one of these because they're already pre-formatted correctly so that they're easily editable, but also easily read as well. There's also tons of other options. If you have PowerPoints or lesson plans that you've created, you can actually embed those directly into the site. I will also show you how to do that. So I think from a standpoint of would this be a good option for me, I would say if you're a little bit more technologically advanced, this might be a good option. You are able to customize it way more than a Google Doc or Microsoft Word document as well. And now to our third option, this is Canva. You can make a free Canva account, and everything that you see in the video here is all 100% free. None of these elements are paid. There is a paid version. It is pretty low for educators. I think it's around $13 to $15 a month. Some institutions and educational entities have Canva accounts that you can get for free, where you can get access to those paid elements. So keep that in mind too. Canva is great for creating your own portfolio. And again, unfortunately, I couldn't share a template, but I do have a site sample that you can check out that you're seeing in this quick video here. I'm also going to show you a live demo of how you can use Canva as well. So a background on what Canva looks like. There are so many templates that you can start with. This is actually an old, outdated image. There is more than 10,000 portfolio examples that you can choose. So I highly recommend going in there and checking them out because there are new ones being added to Canva every single day that you can use and access as well. And here's just a background on the user interface. So these are also drag and drop. Anywhere that you see this little crown feature are paid buttons, but you can see that there's tons of free elements as well. So now I'm going to jump in and actually show you the different portfolios. That first option I mentioned was in Google Docs or Microsoft Word. If you're a Microsoft Word person, you can go to File, Download, and choose Microsoft Word. But for the sake of this today, I'm just going to show you how to do it in Google Docs. So this template is already pre-built for you. It even has a table of contents here. It has placeholders, section headers, everything ready to go. Google Docs is pretty simple and easy to navigate. Anytime you want to insert something, it's under the Insert tab. You can choose images, you can insert text, anything of the sort. This, in order to edit this template, you're going to have to click on File, Make a Copy. This will save it to your personal drive. You'll be able to go in and edit this information and be able to move some elements around. And again, even though this is a template here, make sure you go in and add your information. I do have some sample resources though. If you're looking for a cover letter template, I have resources on the career website. And then everything else is pretty much pre-built for you. So you could go in and edit this and use it as a good guide as you move through. So that's the basics of Google Docs. Let's chat about Google Sites now. So this is transitioning to an actual website where you can go in and edit new things. So again, unfortunately, I can't share a template of this, but you are seeing a sample. I did link the sample so you can mimic it on your own. Anything you want to insert is under the Insert tab. This is those content blocks that I was mentioning. I can just drag it in and it already is pre-built for me. I also have some really cool features down here. I have buttons, I have images, I have social media links, I have YouTubes. Also, if you have any of those lesson plans I mentioned, you can actually link them directly within your website. So I will show you a sample here with our presentation today. So you can see it actually linked the presentation right into my website. So anyone visiting could actually see my presentation without being able to download it, which is pretty cool. And then if you have any forms or maybe you're going to use Google Sites for your students in your class, you can include forms directly in your website. You can include spreadsheets, charts, graphics, you could do maps. So it's pretty interactive with the different features that you can do. At the top here, you have your menu bar. So if you want to add new items to the menu, that would be under the Pages tab. You can click on this little plus. Maybe we want to add a map here. Now I can add that option and go down here and add a map. So let's do LAUSD. I can add it in here. This is just an example, just trying to show you some different things that you can do. So pretty cool. Then you could click in this, your students could explore and go from there. So that's how you add pages. Everything, like I said, is pretty much self-explanatory under Insert. And then when you're ready to go, you can click Publish, get your link, and share it with people. So we can copy this little paperclip and send it to the employer. The cool thing with Google Sites is that you can actually see it pretty well on a phone or mobile device, where Google Docs, if you open it on a mobile device, can be a little bit funky to view, where this is a lot more mobile friendly. Right? It's a lot cleaner to look at. Our font still looks good. Everything looks great. So that's Google Sites. I like this. I think it's a really great tool to add to your toolkit as an educator anyway, but I think for portfolio building, it's a perfect resource for you as well. The third and final option that I discussed was Canva, and I really love Canva because, like I said, it's very low cost, but it also is a free version, and you can do everything I'm going to show you today with the free version. But if you're interested in upgrading, I think it's a great tool for educators. It has some really cute icons, has stock photos, so you could create lessons right in here as well. So let's go ahead and edit this. So everything in Canva, everything you want to add is actually on the left. So opposite of Google Sites, it's on the left here, and it's under the Elements tab. So if I wanted to add, let's say, a button here with my email, I can put in button. And again, I'm seeing these pro icons. I can actually filter them out, so I only see the free options. And I like this cool colored one here. I can resize it, add it in, but we have to make sure that they know that it is for my email. So we can add text. So I'm going to go ahead and add text here and make it say email. I can put that right on my button, but we're not done yet because we have to link our email, right? So if I click on the element that I want to link, I can click these 3 dots, and there's always that little paperclip option. So here I want to say mail to, and then put my email in there. And it's done. You can always test it by seeing if the blue link pops up. So that's how we would add images. Now I can add any text in there. I can also add actual stock photos. So something like this, maybe I'll add a picture of a classroom. I can just choose the photos option instead. And here we have this cute picture of some kids here. Resize it and move it around. So Canva's really great. There's lots of fun elements that you can do. Like if you want to add a pencil icon, you can add a cute little pencil in there. If you're creating lesson plans for your students and want to put some animations in, you can even do that too. There's some cool animations just like in PowerPoint. So it's such a really cool platform. I think great for educators, again, to add to their toolkit. But I'll show you here on the home page. If I were to type in portfolio, let's see what templates they have available. I can click on Canva templates to make sure we're seeing all those. So now they have 17,000. So like I said, they're adding more and more every single day. So definitely get in there and check it out. You can even add filters in here. So if you want specific grade levels, right? If you're creating lesson plans, you can do that. Or if you're just looking for your portfolio for now, you can choose different styles. If you're looking for more creative, we can do education. We can choose any of these options here. So maybe I'll choose websites, and then we can filter it through. So you can see this is a really fun example. This is the example that I used in the demo here. But they have so many really cool things to look at. And they also have pre-built lesson plans as well. So if you were looking for, I don't know, science presentation, they already have pre-built lessons or at least templates in there that you can choose from. So I like that the Canva was built by educators for educators, but it has expanded to be a lot more graphic design now. So there's a lot of backing behind it being an education space. So that's why I like to showcase this one. So those are my 3 resources. I talked about Google Docs and Microsoft Word, Google Sites, and Canva for helping build your teacher portfolio. I think the bottom line is choose the one that makes sense for you, but it's definitely something that you should have. You're going to be continuously adding items to this as well. A couple tips for you as you move forward. I know it says Google Docs, Microsoft Word, but regardless, you should have your page numbers on there. That helps the in-person reading know to continue on, that there's more to read, more to look at. And then always save it and rename the file to something appropriate. Especially if you're creating your Google website, sometimes that URL looks a little funny. So I would go in and edit that and personalize the URL to you. If it's a standard document on Canva or Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you can just do first, last name, portfolio. And then what I want you to do is always save the PDF version. Now, of course, with a website, that's going to be a little tricky because it's a website. But if you're using Canva or Google Docs, you can always click on File, Save as PDF. What this does is freezes the fonts, the formatting, everything to look the same so that the intended audience opens it, looks perfect and beautiful as it did when you sent it. Another option here is using Grammarly. So Grammarly is a free Google extension you can embed. It proofreads and checks for grammar, punctuation, and spelling mistakes. You can also do this with your course assignments. Grammarly is fantastic for kind of being your background writing editor. So I always recommend it here as well. And then, as I mentioned, that website URL, go in and edit that to personalize it to you. So instead of a really lengthy URL, you can edit that and just do your first, last name, portfolio. That way it's very easily identifiable. If you were to paste this on a resume, it wouldn't be a big bulky link. You can also add it to LinkedIn. So that's it for me today. I know it was a quick presentation, but that was the purpose, to show you how to use your portfolio and to different websites you can use to build it. I will hang out here for a couple minutes, but I'm going to put a couple things in the chat here. The first is actually my email. I want to make sure that you have this. You're going to get the follow-up from me, but I want to make sure I put it here as well. And then I'm also going to put the link to my one-on-one appointments. You can schedule these anytime, available Monday through Friday, phone or Zoom or Microsoft Teams, whatever you're comfortable with. Know that I have time and I'm happy to support you, answer questions, help you with those next steps post-graduation. And then if you enjoyed today's presentation, if this was helpful, definitely let me know. If it wasn't helpful, I want to know that too. This presentation feedback form is anonymous. It only takes a couple seconds, but it really helps me prepare. And if you have ideas for future workshops that you would like to listen to or for me to host, definitely let me know that as well in the presentation feedback form. But otherwise, like I said, I'll hang out for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions. But otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you at an upcoming event or to help you in a student appointment sometime soon. All right, see you, everybody.